Hello everyone and welcome to the Historia scale. The intent of these videos is to explain why each character has achieved the score that they've been assigned, and it is not intended to be a discussion about artifact builds, but rather an exploration of the character's raw potential based on their stats and capabilities, so that when you get your hands on these characters, you'll have a better idea if they will suit your team comp, or, better yet, if they're a character you want to build your team around. Also, the entire scale is not taking into account the existence of constellations, as it is very possible that you could play Genshin Impact for extended periods of time with little to no constellations. The exception to the rule here is the Travelers, as they have the only constellations in the game which are guaranteed through the storyline, making theirs realistic for comparison. Furthermore, the scale is designed to award points only where points are due. The composite score should be seen as a mosaic. It is formed up by the sum of its many smaller parts. When comparing what it is that you are looking for, you should not focus on the composite score entirely, but rather review and absorb the other metrics to get a good idea of what a character is good at. Now, without further delay, this scale is covering Barbara, so let's dive in. Beginning with attack. Barbara's attack is 37, and ties for the bottom of the list, earning 2 points. Her normal attack is Barbara's DPS outlier, dealing 203 damage per second for a score of 5 points. Her charged attack dealt 427 damage, earning 3 points. Her main skill, Let the Show Begin, deals damage with the bubbles that are generated, which pop after contact for a max damage of 300 in my tests, earning 2 points. Finally, Barbara's Elemental Burst, Shining Miracle, is the only skill in the game which so far deals no damage at all, earning 0 points. All points in attack tallied up earns Barbara a total of 12 out of a possible 30 points. On to durability. For this, Barbara's 44 defense and 821 HP score her a 4 and 3 points respectively, for a total of 7 out of 14 in this category. Now for utility. Under travel add-ons, puzzles, weak point strike, and opportunity, Barbara scores 0 points, but she does pick up 1 point in environmental breaker for her ability to extinguish flames when necessary or helpful. Barbara's main passive, With My Whole Heart, produces double product on 12% of cooking attempts of health restorative foods. This earns 2 points. On to self-reliance. Under crowd control, Barbara earns 1 point for her ability to apply frozen to enemies nearby cryo flowers or other enemies naturally afflicted with cryo, but not cryo slimes themselves. Barbara earns 2 points for normal attack range as a mage staying well beyond arm's length when optimal. For healing, she picks up 2 points as one of the roster's more prolific producers of restorative effects. However, she scores 0 points under enemy elemental resistance, as she will have no effect on enemies naturally attuned to Hydro. Lastly, for buffs and debuffs, she can trigger electro charge effects on enemies nearby electro slimes for bonus damage. And also, her main skill, Let the Show Begin, bestows her with a 12% buff to stamina efficiency, earning 2 points. On to synergy. For crowd control, she can produce frozen when paired with cryo teammates, earning 1 point. She gains no points for effect on other character skills, but picks up 1 point as the buff effect of Let the Show Begin shares with her party members after swapping, which also gives her a point under buffs and debuffs, but she scores 2 points in that category, as she can also produce Electro Charge when paired with an Electro teammate. Lastly, under healing for party, she earns 2 additional points for her aforementioned prolific healer qualities. All points added up in utility gives Barbara a score of 16 out of 30. Next is reactions. Barbara produces Electro Charged, Frozen, and Vaporize at will when the opportunity arises, without dependency on cooldowns, scoring 3 points in each category. Now, under Reaction Area of Effect, her base attack strikes ahead in 180 degrees, earning 2 points. Her charged attack produces an effective 360 degree area on target, earning 4 points. For Let the Show Begin, enemies nearby Barbara in all directions while the skill is active will become wet, which would score the full 5 points, but she loses 1 point here for the total of 4, as she does have to chase the enemy in order for the skill to produce this effect, which makes it somewhat impractical compared to just using a fully ranged normal attack to produce this effect. Lastly, her Elemental Burst, Shining Miracle, in addition to dealing no damage, also has no reaction effects, and does not make nearby enemies wet, earning 0 points. All points and reactions added together results in a score of 19 out of the possible 26. Lastly, onto the healing category. For Heal 1, Let the Show Begin produced 388 HP per second to her party members, and 684 healing per second to herself. It scales on 0.75% of her max HP, plus 72, at the base level. Next, for Heal 2, her Elemental Burst, Shining Miracle, scales on 17.6% of Barbara's max HP plus 1,694 at the base level. During tests, this produced 4,334 healing per target instantaneously, for a total of 17,336 healing across the party within that instant. It is important to note that both of these skills will scale upward when equipping Barbara with a healing set, such as Maiden Beloved, increasing the overall totals produced here by 30% from the set bonuses alone. That would up her totals for Heal 1 to 504 HP per second for her party members, and 889 healing per second to herself. And her total for Heal 2 jumps up to a total of 22,536 instantaneously. The score Barbara earns for Heal 1 and Heal 2 are both the max points of 7 and 8 points respectively, for a total of 15 out of a possible 15. Now, as was with Noelle, we must make an adjustment to the composite score in order to ensure that it is not unfairly skewed towards healing characters due to the addition of an extra 15 points. Barbara's lowest overall scoring metric is attack at 12 points. It will be divided in half for a new total of 6 points. Finally, all metrics tallied up gives Barbara a composite score of 63. Here you can see where Barbara stacks up against the rest of the roster. Barbara is the truest definition of a healer in Genshin Impact. As you will see as I complete more of the scale, she is the only character that will score a max of 15 points in the healing metric. Barbara is, however, moderately squishy, but that can be fended off largely by building her with lots of HP to fully lean into the scaling of her healing skills. She offers good support opportunities through her respective element of Hydro, but not much in the area of damage. While her output is actually quite respectable within regard to her normal attacks, building her to utilize that would be minimizing or reducing the impact of the most effective part of her kit. With that, I've reached the end of all I have to discuss in this installment of the Historia scale. I hope you found it to be useful. If you've noticed something that you think I've left out, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you, and even issue a correction to the scale if necessary. Finally, if you did find this video to be useful, please think about leaving a like. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you're notified when my next video goes live. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia. May the 7 guide you, travelers.